we pick up ladies in middle position. And we've got number one, it's revenge time. The very next deal, we pick up pocket kings on the button. We raise pocket jacks to 125.
Well, I got a lot of good hands today. Easy game. This vlog features 5-5-10 stakes at Hustler Casino. Before we get into the poker, we're here at Jeff's Table in Highland Park. It's a bodega and a liquor store, and it's got a really high-end deli in the back. The place has incredible reviews. Let's try some of the food and see how it is.
Thank you.
All right, we've got 3 sandwiches here. Jeff's Special Reuben, hot kimchi, and the New G OG roast beef. This is the hot kimchi. All right, we've got some kimchi, pastrami. That looks really good. Let's see here. Oh yeah, that's really good. Jewish deli meets Korean, exactly what you'd expect. The OG. Medium rare, miso crusted roast beef, pickled shallots, arugula, horseradish creme fraiche. Really good. It's number 2 so far in my rankings, but I do like this. It's just more clean and refreshing. It's a little lighter. Last one, Jeff's Special. It's like a Hanukkah present. All right. We got our classic rye, 2 different kinds of cheese, Comté and Gruyere crisp, spicy Russian dressing, and kraut. I think I'm gonna like this one. Let's see. Solid. More like a traditional Reuben type. All the sandwiches, very tasty here at Jeff's, but if you're only getting one, I would recommend the hot kimchi. Would I drive from Mid-City to come here? Nah. But if you live on the east side, I do think it's a really good sandwich shop.
Just 10 minutes into this session, we pick up ladies in middle position and make it $35 to go. Action's gonna fold to the button. He's a very passive recreational. He wants to go for a click here. Makes it 70. The action folds to the straddle. He's unknown, but he's going for a cold call here. Now it's time to decide what we want to do. Button has about $500. Straddle has 1,000. So I need to come up with a size that puts a lot of pressure on the cold caller. Make it so that if the button goes all in, it reopens the action. So we eventually go 240.
All in.
And it's a snap all in from the button for exactly $500. Now the straddle's in the tank. And eventually lets it go. We go ahead and put in the call, and we're off to the races. You're behind. He flips over blackjacks. Ace and a king on board, but 2 blanks on turn and river, and right off rip, it's a $1,080 pot our way. This hand starts out a little bit weird. It's 4 blinds, 5 on the button, 5 in the small blind, 10 in the big blind, and 10 in the straddle because of the California traveling button rule. We've got pocket 9s in the straddle, and the small blind opens to 60. He's a tricky, tough recreational. He's got bluffs. He's not face up by any means. In our shoes, I think calling or raising is okay. And this time we go for the raise to 210. Small blind wastes no time. He's in there, joining us to this flop. It's king 3 deuce, 2 clubs. We do not have a club.
All in.
And this dude goes wildly off book here. He goes all in for 615. Well, this is a bit puzzling because he's gone so much over pot, and he's also donked into the 3-better. I don't know what to make of it. My intuition is it's mostly going to be club draws. Sure, sometimes we run into a king or something else that beats us, but sometimes he's spazzing also.
Once or twice.
Curiosity gets the better of me, and I put in the call. We're going to get 2 boards.
2 pair on the top.
Bad news, he rips over his hand and says 2 pair on the top, shows us king jack off, and we do not improve on board number 2, and we get roasted. Getting it in, drawing nearly dead. This hand occurs exactly 30 minutes after the last one, and it's gonna feature the player that just dusted us with our pocket 9s. Our villain opens to 35 in the cutoff, and we've got number 1 in the small blind. It's revenge time. We pop it to 175, and he insta-calls. We're gonna go heads up to this flop of queen 6-5 2 diamonds. This seems like a very good spot for a bet, and we go for 235. Cutoff's gonna make the call, and we're gonna get a turn. It's a 3 of clubs, that's a big blank. He has 975 effective behind, and now I have to decide between check or bet. When it comes to sizing, it's hard for me to find anything besides all in that feels appropriate, because it would leave a really weird SPR for the river if he were to just call.
All in?
So we go Rip City all in, 975, and he insta-calls us 2 boards once again here.
I beat that. I hit the river.
We got top set on the river in board 1. Board 2 bricks off, and we super coolered his ace-queen off in a nearly $2,800 pot. Talk about the literal definition of run good. The very next deal, we pick up pocket kings on the button, facing a $35 open from the low jack. We raise to 115, and it's gonna fold back to the low jack here. His name is Peter. He's a poker pro from Ohio originally who moved out to LA. Check out the last vlog where he and I talked some strategy in a mid-session update and had a conversation about the hands we played against each other. Peter is gonna put in the call here, and we're gonna go heads up to Jack 5-7, 2 hearts, and 1 spade. Peter checks and flow. This is definitely a good spot for a continuation bet. I go for 175, which I think is too big. The very biggest I should be going here is about half pot, and I'm probably favoring something closer to 33%. So this is a mistake. Peter puts in the call, and the turn's an ace of spades. Interesting card. Peter checks it over. Now we've got 2 hearts and 2 spades on board. This card is really good for our range. In game, I was thinking this would be a good spot to represent, but with pocket kings, checking would make a lot of sense too. I finally decide that betting 215 is best, because I feel that's what my range wants to do the most, and Peter quickly puts his hand in the muck.
I laid on a big hand for you, just so you know, kid.
Huh?
I laid on a big hand for you.
What's a big hand?
Pair, spade draw, flush draw.
Amidst a fun back and forth between fellow vlogger Corey Airing in C8 and Bearju, who is open limped the button on my right, we raise pocket jacks to 125. Bearju, who is one of my favorite poker players in LA and a Hustler Casino Live regular.
Don't play with a table full of nits like this fucking table.
Reasonable. Anything else you want to say?
I love Yali.
Wants to see a flop. It comes down 10-9-6 rainbow, and here I think betting or checking would be okay.
Check it.
I start with a check, and Bearju fires off 200. We put in the call, hoping for a good turn, and that's exactly what we get on this 4 of diamonds, a quick check from us to Bearju. Now he fires 425, keeping the heat on, really hoping he doesn't have a hand like 8-7 or 10-9, but Bearju earns action. We call once again, hoping for a good river yet again, and it's an ace of spades, not the best. We check.
Not a good river for me. Check.
You were beat.
Did I slow roll you or not?
Yeah. Hold on. What's the other card that can beat me? You have it?
Wait, this is the whole point of slow rolling. The front.
I got him to bluff into me 2 times. How'd I do, Corey?
I think you did good. Better than Corey.
Good, no fire.
I can't fire, man. Once a nip calls twice, you think it's folding? There's rules to this madness.
This hand is gonna be 5, 5, 10, 20, and Bearju has double straddled to 40. We've got our absolute favorite hand and open to 120. The button wants to play for more, he makes it 360. Everybody folds back to us. I confirm that the player who has raised us has about $2,600. Thus, this hand starts a little over 60 bigs effective, not very deep at all. What I can tell you about the player on our left is I commentated on him once, 5 hours with whole cards up on Live at the Bike. He's part of the Johnny Vibes, Andrew Moreno camp. I think he might be one of their horses, I don't really know, but he's a pro affiliated with those two guys. Vibes is upstairs, playing on the Hustler Casino live stream, right next to our table. And now I've got a decision with my favorite hand. Doesn't even really seem like much of a decision at all. We go all in for 2,600 effective, and that earns us a quick fold from Edgar. Things are going swimmingly so far. We're up about $2,500. This hand features a $20 straddle and a small blind open to 60. We have ace jack hearts in the big blind. We fire it up to 210. Back on the small blind, he's cutting out chips at the top of your screen and flicks in a call. He's a recreational opponent and he's not been very aggressive to this point. Flops ace 3-3, 2 diamonds. He checks. And we check for deception. Ace of spades on the turn. Let's get it. Now our opponent goes for a bet of 150 into 450. I'm not too sure what this represents, but mostly I think it's pocket pairs, maybe occasionally an ace. We put in the call and get a 9 of spades river. When our opponent bets 250, it's another 33% pot bet, following his 33% pot bet on the turn. I sort of feel like he's got a lot of pocket pairs here. Hands like pocket 10s, pocket 8s, pocket jacks. Maybe he's got an ace sometimes. So we go for a fish fry raise size to 650. I'll admit it, this isn't balanced, as the kids say. I'm just trying to get this particular opponent to call a very small amount with hands that I kind of feel like shouldn't be calling too frequently facing this raise.
Ace.
He puts in the call and shows pocket queens face up. So I think the raise did the job here. I might not have gotten the complete max, but I was targeting a very specific set of hands. The game is shorthanded now, and the $20 straddle's on. We have 10-9 of clubs in the third blind. Button open limps. Small blind completes, and I feel like this is a good time to punish the limpers. We raise to 125. Button limper calls. The small blind throws it away. Flop comes down Jack 9-6 rainbow. We have middle pair, backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. I think checking or betting is kind of close here, but we eventually settle on 125. With regards to this size, I think when we bet, it needs to be something on the smaller side. The button flicks in the call, and the turn is a 4 of diamonds. This card shouldn't really improve him, and it definitely doesn't improve us. I don't think he can have a lot of strong hands with this line so far. Maybe a set of 6s is the only good hand he can have. So I fire 375 into what I perceive to be a very capped range, and he folds. At this exact moment in the session, a buddy of mine turns to me and says, "Say what you will about Phil Hellmuth, he has times where no one plays as good as him. This is maybe your mini Phil moment. But to do Phil right, you have to end your session felted and leave ranting and raving." Let's try to end this session on a high note. We've got ace queen offsuit on the button and open to 35. The small blind's out of screen. He's gonna do a little Euro pause here and 3-bet to 135. They folded back to us. I'm sure raising is okay sometimes, but calling's preferred. We're gonna go heads up. We get a queen high 2 diamond board, top pair boss kicker, small blind checks. We go for a bet of 190. And after some deliberation, the small blind puts in the call. Turns an 8 of spades. I think this card's relatively neutral in sequence. He checks. We both probably have a lot of 10-9 suited. He's got pocket queens, I don't. We can both have several sets, 7s, 6s, 8s. I go for a bet of 425. In this spot, the opponent might presume we have a lot of flush draws, which we would. He's gonna call and see a river. It's a 5 of spades. Any 9 or any 4 now makes a straight, and he quickly checks once again. I did briefly consider going for something sort of polarizing here that would sometimes represent missed flush draws, but ultimately this guy's playing pretty well and pretty balanced. He can easily have a 9 in range, which leads me to a decision of checking back. He shows 2 black 10s, and we're gonna drag a $1,500 pot. I like how he played the hand here, but this time it's gonna go in our direction. Man, oh man, what a day. I guess the big theme is that I continue to run really, really good. I've been playing at Hustler a lot, so I'm getting to know the staff, I'm getting to know the players a little bit better. And today was really eventful because we had legends like Bearju or Eldar. I think he goes by Bearju. Just like an old school LA character, a lot of antics and jokes. I find him actually very entertaining. I got to meet Corey Airing, who has a similar sized channel to ours, which was really cool because even though he's almost 20 years younger than me or thereabout, I love his channel and he's super funny. I got to talk to Johnny Vibes for about 20 minutes before he went on stream today. One of the OGs, amazing production quality, overall good guy. So yeah, just so many people today that I met, so much going on. Like my brain is still kind of like firing. Generally, just the game was good all day. And more than that, I'm just running so good. But last year, everything was tough. Basically every single month, even through the wins. This year so far, it's just been, I've been running good. And, you know, ironically, I slept only like 5.5 hours last night, which isn't a lot for me. And I came in early to Hustler and started the game. So I ended up playing for 9.5 hours, and I wasn't well rested. And sometimes that can be pretty dangerous. But it kind of reminds me of this great quote from Chris Kruk, who is a legend who plays in Bobby's room. And he basically just said in an epic tweet once, variance doesn't give a fuck what you ate for breakfast. And, you know, I think today with my lack of sleep, that's kind of like my variance doesn't give a fuck what you ate for breakfast, because ideally, you know, everyone's going to say like, you know, you want everything to be tuned, you know, get your workout in, go to the gym, make sure you sleep your normal amount of hours. And I didn't really do any of those things today. Yeah, and it just worked out because as you see, I've just ran so hot. So I'm going to get to the results here. Let me get out my sheet. Very strong day. In for 2,500. Out for 76.26. That's a profit of 51.26. Hell of a day. Love to see it, and enjoying coming over here, playing at the Hustler, top tier service. It's good when you're winning, and that's what we did today. So I want to thank you guys so much, as always, for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you soon from... God damn it. Well, whatever.